It's Stacy again. I thought I would read to you from the opening of All the Girls in Town. The story is told from the perspectives of Danny, Red, and Sasha, who have all loved the same bad boy rocker, Peter. Danny is Peter's ex-wife. She wrote the lyrics to the song that made him famous, and she never got credit. And they went through a very big lawsuit, and she lost, and she started a blog. And the name of her blog is Just Desserts. At 3 a.m., I gripped the wheel and maneuvered the Taurus through the scattered taillights on the 134, praying that the crunch under my bald tires was loose gravel. Putting the car in park on the shoulder of the freeway, I took a deep breath, wiped my palms on my jeans, and turned to Steve, who was staring in silent defiance through the windshield. The fluorescence from a streetlight cast an eerie shadow across the chiseled contours of his handsome brown face, making him look more like a villain in a superhero movie than just another cheating husband with a band. Is it Vasha? Steve snorted with disgust. Vash isn't the one you need to worry about. Who then? Hysteria rose in my throat. Who am I supposed to be worried about now? A big rig passed, shaking the car. This is really dangerous. Steve hit the hazard button on the dash. Yellow staccato flashed around our car. I don't know who gave it to me, okay? Okay. Tomorrow I would need to get tested for the venereal disease of the 21st century or risk dying of cervical cancer because my husband couldn't keep his part in his pants. Sleeping with my own husband is more dangerous than sitting on the side of the freeway. I laughed until my fists found his body, and I hit until he grabbed my wrists, pulling me toward him in a hard kiss. I bit his lip. He yelped and pulled away. This relationship is toxic. Steve wiped a spot of blood from his mouth. Everybody says so. Everybody in your band or just everybody you're sleeping with? He shook his head. You're crazy. And so I opened the glove box, pulled out the .32 caliber, and shot him. Dead. Danny. Satisfied, Danny hit publish and took a swig of her Diet Coke. God, she missed smoking and ding-dongs. It was Karen, her OA sponsor, who politely suggested that Danny try journaling as a way to fix some unresolved issues from her marriage and fill her God-shaped hole with something other than screaming resentment, sorrow, and sugar products. A soft-spoken, irritatingly sweet person, new to sponsoring, Karen took her Overeaters Anonymous duties very seriously. Eager not to be the one to discourage her fresh out of the gate, Danny had gone to Michael's Art Supply and purchased a hardcover sketchbook with blank pages, plus a few black pens, because she didn't like writing on lines or in blue ink. At the time, it had seemed like a futile exercise to write about how much her ex-husband had hurt her during their 5-year marriage, and even more so after. But Danny was tired of crying herself to sleep, covered in powdered sugar dust, and her boyfriend Barney was also. With 3 pages in, her ex was already dead. Bad potato salad at a family picnic. It was surprising, exhilarating, life-affirming. Danny had danced around her apartment singing, "Ding dong, the dude is dead. Which old dude? My dirty old ex-dude." And she didn't even like dancing. The next morning, Peter was hit by a truck. When Danny wrote, his perfect body cracked the semi's windshield in a bloody sunburst, she achieved poetic justice. Each morning, Danny awoke, heart fluttering, eager to stab, shoot, or poison Peter. She filled the blank pages of journals with the flames of her revenge fantasies until they caught fire and exploded into her blog, Just Desserts, with currently 61 avid followers at justdesserts.com. Of course, when she went online, Danny changed everyone's name. Peter, her ex, was Steve on the blog. Sasha, the backup singer, became Vasha. And his real-life band, The Disasters, were the Calamities. It suited them. They could all screw off. Shortly after the divorce, Peter and The Disasters had released Crazy Girl, Crazy Boy Love. Danny first heard her lyrics playing on KRQ 106.7 one morning while driving to a crappy temp job. Shaken with fury, she ran a red light, hired a bloodthirsty attorney, and sued for half of the rights. The lawsuit went to trial, 6 brutal, violating months, which had increased the band's visibility into a record deal, but decreased Danny's bank balance to 0. Crazy ex-wife sues over crazy love song, a tabloid-feeding frenzy. Without documentation, email, or paper trail, there was no way to prove she'd written the song. Peter won. A week after the trial, Danny received a check for $10,000 with "God S. We wish you peace," written in a feminine scrawl in the memo section. "Does God S. know you're screwing my husband, Sasha?" she'd shouted. Then Danny cashed the check, hired a couple of guys outside of Home Depot to help carry her away from their married apartment full of roaches and sorrow in Van Nuys, and moved into a sunny two-bedroom in lovely green Pasadena. She told herself she was starting over, but spent the next few months cramming treats down her gullet until 30 pounds later, her younger sister Monica, a turnstile 12-stepper, suggested Overeaters Anonymous. For once in her miserable life, Monica had been right. Researching and devising creative ways to kill Peter was filling Danny's God-shaped hole. Not in the way mortified Karen had hoped, but at least she wasn't shoveling baked goods into her pain. 10 pounds shed and a reason to get out of bed. Who could have imagined that Danielle Desi Smith, crossing over the hump of 35, earning $15 an hour as a crappy temp, was born to be a literary assassin? Okay, Karen had waxed and warned philosophic. When God closes a door, he always opens a window. Without your ex-husband's infidelities and emotional abuse, you might never have discovered your writing talent. You should take a screenwriting class and move away from this kind of dangerous fantasy thinking. Killing Peter didn't make Danny feel bad. She didn't want to write screenplays. She appreciated her sponsor's support, but Karen wore on Danny's nerves. She had beaten on a closed door until, smashing her fist through a window, she had the ugly scars to prove it. She wouldn't quit killing him now. It felt too good, almost better than sugar. She was hooked on revenge, a race car speeding toward a cliff, eager to see how close she could get to the edge. And that's Danny. The next chapter is Red, Peter's on-again, off-again lover. And the third chapter, or the next chapter, is Sasha, his current wife and former backup singer. I hope you'd enjoyed the reading.